Welcome to the Whiska Chicks podcast, where Amy and Suzie are two sisters that banter about random, relatable topics. What is a Whiska Chick? Well, it's a term our beloved Nana used for anything random, so instead of saying thingamajig or doodad, she would say Whiska Chick. We are here to have fun, a lot of laughs, and to spread joy and mindfulness. Give a listen. You may learn something or have an aha moment or two. We dedicate this creative endeavor to our Nana, whose most powerful saying was, be true to yourself. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Whiska Chicks podcast. I'm Suzie.
And I'm Amy.
And if you've dealt with us this long, you've arrived at episode 45.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. You haven't thrown your phone out the window yet to listen to us. Before we dig into the topic of the day, I wanted to recognize the fact that our last episode, which was the Cancer in the Zodiac series, when Amy and I stopped recording, I made the comment that we sounded like the delicious dish ladies from Saturday Night Live with their. Now we'd like to introduce someone that's brought their muffins with them today. We were just really, low
They're
key.
Moist
and
muffins.
Yeah, we were low key. Just laughed about it and moved on. And I edited it and put it up anyway. Yeah, we were super chill that day. So if anybody listened, was like, "What the hell's wrong with them?"
we were just having a delicious dish moment.
We were just consciously napping our way through the recording. That's all.
I'm about halfway there today too, actually.
Well, yeah, because now we're in the July 29th and the buck moon, full moon energy.
Today.
Today.
Aquarius. Today is the age of Aquarius, full moon.
That's right. And I believe also in the last episode, we encouraged people to go howl at the moon when it was full. So now's your chance. Make your moon water, get those crystals out, write some manifestations for yourself and blah. Anyway.
Release, like every full moon asks us to do.
That's right.
Get rid of the crap.
I know, when you think about it, we could release during every full moon and start each day anew. So what's everybody's complaint about?
And on this day of release.
Yeah. Totally.
Our subject kind of might tie into that because we might ask you to release some habits around screen time.
Yeah, which is what we're talking about today. We're talking about feeding ourselves from different angles, balancing that out between real time and screen time, meaning put your damn phone down, rip the iPad out of your child's hands. Sorry, I guess I'm drinking a cup of sassafras over here right now, but
yeah, you're spicy.
Sassafrassies.
I told Amy the other day, which is kind of how we got on topic of doing this, that I've just been really thinking about our true Gen Xer days when we were younger and we didn't have screens. We grew up in the sticks and our television got like 10 channels if we were lucky. We had no cable, landlines.
We had to get up and manually change the channel.
We did.
With a dial.
That was like a way of getting some crunches in, just off the couch, When there was something we needed to know, we had to physically go get a book and look it up or go to a library for book reports and term papers and studying for things. We're talking card catalogs and Dewey Decimal Systems, and we didn't pick up a device to escape. We didn't pick up a device to look up information. We had to physically...
Or to distract.
Yeah. Or, we would go outside, or we were lucky enough that we spent a lot of time at the beach because we live so close to the beach in Southern California. But we didn't know any different than we know now today. And I think it's interesting for the Gen X generation, especially those that are raising kids, because they know, you're one of them raising your daughter, both worlds, the Gen X, and now you have kids these days that who'd you talk to today? Oh, Chat GPT.
How'd you do your homework? Chat GPT. And Siri.
I don't want to say it's scary as it is just, it doesn't make me feel old. It actually makes me feel a little bit sad that things aren't as analog as they used to be.
Yeah. So we got to thinking, What are we feeding ourselves? And we're not talking about just food, because everything we ingest, I mean, we ingest more than just food. We ingest information, we ingest pictures and visuals and words, and it all hits our minds and our souls somehow. It's not just whatever food we put in our bodies, which is kind of pathetic for a lot of us now too. But we want to focus today on just the tsunami of information that we're getting, like, constantly. And it's not even productive information half the time, but it impacts how we feel, our emotions. I mean, stress. I mean, it just impacts so much. I mean, I don't think everybody realizes it, but we have visceral responses to the information we take in every day, all day, you know? So I think it becomes important to decide, what am I going to feed myself every day?
I think also, I think doom scrolling is such an appropriate term for that.
I know.
And I'm guilty of it. But
Yeah, me too.
But a lot of times, like, we're sending each other like stuff where it's like, I'll call you and you answer the phone and I'm just wheezing. I'm like, did you see what I just sent you on Instagram? Because it's that funny. But I think what's even more impactful for me is when I think about, as we doom scroll, we are subconsciously destroying our nervous system without even knowing it. Just we're taking it in and taking it in and taking it in. And if you see something that makes you laugh or brings you warm fuzzies, okay, maybe that's an exception. But watching the political stuff and the violence and cruelty and hate and all of that, I'm not saying ignore all that. I'm just saying, like, there has to be a balance and a cap on what you allow yourself to have before you say stop and go outside and hug a freaking tree or something, or look for a butterfly, like something to balance out what you've just done, to kind of ground yourself, because you don't even realize that you're doing it. You're just taking it in.
No, and there's so much of it now, and I don't care if you're looking at political news about fitness and nutrition, news about just anything. You don't know what's real anymore either. It's like, is it a good source? If I am going to take in this information, if I'm going to feed it to myself, is it even valid or accurate or factual? We don't know anymore. There's just so much stuff out there flying around. It's hard to tell. Some of it's AI generated. Some of it you can kind of tell, like, oh, that's not real. It's like, what do you believe anymore? So I just throw my phone down now. Sometimes I'm just like, I'm done. I'm over it. So that's the other thing too. It's like, are we believing everything we're seeing? Which is bad, because then it creates confusion, because there's conflicting information out there too. It's like, well, what do I believe?
Right, because if you stop on one thing and you're doom scrolling about, I don't know, hot flashes, and watch it for more than 14 seconds, everything that comes later is like
about hot flashes.
I'm just like, now if it's about animals, like, I'm fine with it. But yeah, I'm with you. Like, there's a point at night where I'm like, I literally out loud, I'm like, Suzie, put the phone down. Or I switch to Candy Crush, Soda, Saga, whatever. I'll play games for a while.
And not only that, when we were growing up, limited TV time, we didn't have mobile devices, and the TVs even shut off at midnight. It went to static. It played the Star Spangled Banner.
Oh, true.
And it went to static, or that rainbow thing on the screen. But this ties also into just blue light exposure to the eyes and the brain. It really affects your sleep hygiene, how you're able to fall asleep at night, stay asleep. If you're overstimulated, I mean, all the experts say cut out blue screen altogether 2 hours before you go to bed. And that means TV too, and a Kindle. So maybe read a book, open a real book and read a book to put yourself to sleep. I mean, easier said than done. I get it. I mean, I'm guilty of it as well, but that is the ideal situation. And Gen Xers know what it's like to be without all the screen time. But then we know what it's like to be with it too. We're like the one generation that is like push and pull between the two scenarios. We know what it was like, but now we know what it is like. And I know in my mind, I'm constantly comparing the two, like, God, I wish I could go back because of this. But then there's all this convenience and a lot of really great things about technology too. So it's kind of again, like you said, balance. You have to strike a balance.
I think it's funny, though, that we've seen life before this and then the birth of it and the evolution to now of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just thinking where we did the bulk of our growing up, like I said, in Southern California, we were in the sticks. And at night, it was pitch black, man. There was just your porch lights on your house. You'd hear coyotes howling, and that was it. And now that I'm thinking about it, it's like,
there weren't even any street lights.
There were no street lights. Like, we weren't really supposed to be out of the house after dark. But laying in bed and you turn off your light, you're just laying there in pitch black to go to bed.
Yeah.
And now that I think about it, I actually remember thinking about like what I did during my day, what tomorrow was going to bring, just having those moments. And now it's like, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I usually lay in bed because I live in a studio, but I lay in bed watching TV and I fall asleep with the TV on.
Yeah.
And sometimes I wake up during the night and the TV's still on and I don't turn it off. It's like some active nightlight to me. I can't explain it. I have to have something going.
Try a salt lamp. No, I'm kidding.
I have one but it takes a tea light. Sometimes I put on a YouTube channel that's got some kind of like sleep noise because I have tinnitus. So all I hear is that.
Ringing.
Just extremely
and ringing.
Yeah, like I've got cicadas in my ears. This is Paith's fault. We would turn out the lights and that was it. And sometimes I think we had our doors open to our rooms and we would like either yell or talk back and forth
we would
like, talk shit to each other back and forth.
You were across the hall from me.
I was right across the hall from you, yeah. I think about that a lot. Just being in silence in the dark before bed.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a huge concept for most people now.
Well, the TV before sleep, the screen time before sleep, the doom scrolling and all that, it's numbing. When you're laying in the dark with just you and your thoughts, you actually have to think about your thoughts and not confront them, but be with them. And like you said, it's a great opportunity to think about your day, the next day, what's going on, maybe, I don't know, think about the day that just ended, what was good about it, what was bad about it, or not so good, or, I don't know. Except for those who are really good at meditation, I don't think there's I think the vast majority of people just are not good with sitting with their thoughts anymore. And because the moment we have downtime or quiet time, we reach for the phone. What's on Instagram? What's on Facebook?
Who's messaged me?
It's like, what meme can I send to my sister to make her laugh?
Okay, but that's real.
So, but the other thing is too, I know Suzie hasn't seen the movie, but if anybody has seen Toy Story 5, this movie is a masterpiece. It has this exact message. And parents, pay attention. And kids get it too. We took our grandkids. The older one is 6 and she got it. And she was actually able to verbalize it at the end of the movie. But it was a profound, right up there on the big screen, exactly what's going on with kids, especially now. There's less time playing with real toys, which demands imagination and creativity and make-believe and engagement. There's less of that and more of sitting on iPads and phones, isolated. You're just looking at screens. There was even some bullying, cyberbullying woven into the chats and the screen time. And these were little kids in the movie. And the whole premise was the toys trying to intervene, like they were feeling left out, like, what the heck? They don't want to play with us anymore. What are we going to do? What's our life like now? Because no kid wants to play with us. And they introduce a new character called Lily Pad, and she's an iPad. And at first she was all, of course, oh, tech, 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 tech. But at the end of the movie, the tech toys and the real toys get together on a mission. I won't give the whole thing away, but they get together on a mission. And the resounding message was, there is a place for both in our lives. And the key is balance. So limiting screen time, allowing it, but limiting it, and encouraging real play. Encouraging kids to be creative and imaginative and read books and bring their toys and dolls to life in whatever scenario they want. I would highly encourage everybody, whether you have children or not, to go see this movie. It is such a profound message to all of us about it. It's like right there in front of your face on the big screen. It's crazy. I cried. I laughed. It was a great movie.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, because I do really feel like this starts with, especially now in this day and age, it starts with kids, the relationship between kids, parents, and the technology. The whole idea that a lot of parents, I'm not pointing fingers, I've never been a human parent, so I can't relate to this. But I have to stop and think, like, if a child is crying, why would you put an iPad in its hands to pacify the situation? That's just an observation. But I have some statistics here.
Okay.
Of average daily use of electronics. This is just what Google told me, okay? Ages 0 to 2 average about an hour and 3 minutes a day of media use. Ages 2 to 4, about 2 hours. Ages 5 to 8, about 3.5 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
And 8 to 10, up to 5 or 6 hours a day.
Wow.
So you think about the progression of time, how the older the kid is, the more screen time they're using. And it makes sense, because if they're brand new babies, they're changing their tune at, like, I want to sleep, I want to eat, I want to poop, I want to watch, like it's something. But the ages 8 to 10 is, I think, the most, that's like a work shift amount of time. You imagine if a child didn't have how would you spend another 5 to 6 hours of doing something else, anything else?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like, oh, we're taking our kids somewhere. It could be like color, draw, paint, write, go get your hands in the dirt, learn something else other than how to stare at it. Watching a movie, stuff like that's different. But what terrifies me is that electronics are used, and oftentimes now, to regulate kids' moods and behaviors. And so when you remove the device from them, they don't know how to self-regulate and they melt down. And then that concerns me about their futures. Now, this is one thing we had to self-regulate. We had to figure it out, because we didn't have any other way to do that. And regardless of,
maybe that's what's wrong with us.
maybe, amongst other things. But anyway, before I go off on a tangent, now, those were the statistics. This is the recommended limits for these ages.
Or balance.
For balance. Under 18 months, no screen time at all, except for video calls with family.
Mm-hmm.
Ages 2 to 5, no more than an hour a day of high-quality programming. And ages 6 to 10 says focus on healthy habits and balance rather than a strict hour cap, ensuring screens do not replace sleep, outdoor play, or schoolwork.
Yeah.
So, again, like, if the family's like, movie night, popcorn, and
right,
then it's an event and not like video games and staring at a TV. Like,
it's not just boredom. What else am I going to do? I'm going to flip on the TV, or I'm going to look at the phone or the iPad or whatever.
Totally. We also have to bring up the fact that an evil side to anything electronic or on the internet is now fishing at these children.
Yep.
Trying to bait them into things or get them thinking about doing things that are horrible to other people. Like that is real. That influence is real. And again, unable to self-regulate yourself out of that or know right from wrong because they haven't been taught how to do that by a human. Like the molding process of children in this day and age really has me on high alert.
Well, and you and I were talking about this a little bit before we actually started recording, but we all know clickbait, right? You look at something.
That's what I was
for
trying.
Any length of time, and then the moment you scroll or swipe up or whatever, here comes more of it, more of it, more of it, more of it, more of it. So if a kid shows interest in something, take a peek at it, whatever. Oh, then clickbait goes, yes, we got him. Let's give them more. And it can create obsessive thoughts because now you're just getting fired at it. Well, maybe that's a good idea. Well, maybe I should do that. Maybe because it's like coming and coming and coming and coming and coming. I mean, psychologically, it's really kind of damaging. Again, it has its place, but it needs guidance and it needs balance and it needs boundaries. So I think, just to reference Toy Story 5 again, I think all the kids that were involved, the characters in the story were probably in 6 to 7 to 10-year-old range. And there were times during the movie where the camera would pan out and it would look at a row of houses, and every window in the house didn't have a light on, and the only light you could see was a screen and a kid looking at a screen. So it's like the whole block was just looking at a screen. And the way they were communicating with each other was chatting on a platform. Boy. And it's like, so they're not even talking to each other. They're typing to each other. So where's communication? Like live, physical words, expression, emotion, interaction. I mean, it's just nuts. It was such a profound message. It was really, really good.
It just thinking about screen time, and you were like, no wonder we turned out so weird or whatever. A lot of ours, if you want to call it that, a lot of our TV screen time were cartoons.
I was going to say Bugs Bunny, but see, therein lies the difference. I mean, we've talked about this before in previous podcasts. The cartoons we watched were horribly violent. They were bad. I mean, all those old Bugs Bunny cartoons and Tom and Jerry, everybody was like blowing each other up and shooting each other and
smoking.
But you know what? We had the wherewithal to know that was not real. And we didn't need to be that. It was just funny and silly and stupid, and we moved on. But it's different now. I don't know what it is, but it's just different.
I mean, on the flip side, there were all those cartoons like with Bugs Bunny that gave you some cultural stuff, like with, Kill the Wabbit, and that's like the famous Wagner opera, and the Rabbit of Seville, like Rossini. I mean,
it familiarized us with famous pieces of music.
you would hear
orchestral
it somewhere.
Music.
You would hear it somewhere else as you're a kid, and you're like, "Oh my God, that's Kill the Wabbit!"
I know that. That's Barbara of Seville.
Oh my God, there were some cartoons that were racist, and they're drinking, smoking, shooting guns, and all that stuff. But it was the 70s and early 80s. Yeah. And now everything is just so much more advanced and whatever. But I don't know how they got away with all that, but they did.
I guess people are looking at it online, and instead of seeing it in cartoon form, they're seeing it like for real. Yeah. They're seeing real shootings and real it's not Bugs and Elmer, and we know it's fake, it's a cartoon. It's just weird.
But in hindsight, it's pretty funny.
We used to laugh our asses off.
Oh my God. Yeah.
We still do to this day.
We do. Yeah.
We find the old clips and send them to each other so we can walk down memory lane and laugh.
I think watching cartoons was one of the things that the three of us did where we weren't torturing each other, where we were like communally laughing.
Exactly. We were having a good time. But even then, cartoons were on for a couple hours in the morning and then they were done. And then it went to different types of programming that were really interesting to us. And so we went off and played and went outside and, so we were kind of obliged to be balanced.
Yeah,
right. We didn't sit in front of the
and that was it. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a show and it was over. You couldn't stream it like you do now and binge watch. There was no such thing. So easier to be balanced back then for sure, just because of the circumstances.
Totally. Yeah, different circumstances. But maybe things will come full circle. I don't know. I was thinking about just like we're talking about feeding and how that can really confuse and muddle things with how you take in information outside of even doom scrolling. Like when you put the device down and you're out in the world and something happens to you. I don't know, it could be something as simple as like someone cutting you off or almost running you over, and here comes that responding and not reacting thing. But I think now even some adults get lost and forgetful about how they were raised without these devices. And so I kind of relative but not, but it makes me think about that parable about the two wolves. And it's like a grandfather talking to his grandson, and there's two wolves. There's a white wolf and a black wolf, and they're at war with each other. And the question is, which wolf is going to win? And the one that they feed the good stuff to is going to win.
No, so it's the whole light versus
something
dark.
like that. Yeah. So I think about that sometimes when I feel fired up. I'm like, I feel a little conflicted inside. I'm like, feed the good wolf, Suzie, because that's not worth your negative energy. Anyway, a little bit of a side tangent. But circling back to this whole topic today, I think is just really about how things have a place in your life, just like everything else. But feeding yourself good food, good sleep, good friends, love, nature, and being creative and highlighting the things within yourself that make you happy and focusing on that with a dash of the doom scrolling. Like, it's not going to go away. I mean, it's there. It's part of everything. I'm going to try to be better about it.
It is difficult. I mean, I've gotten to the point sometimes where I get caught and I realize what I'm doing, and I just literally say out loud, "Stop it, Amy! Just stop it!" and I swipe up and I put my phone down. So it's like, watch the birds. Look out in the backyard, or go sit on the patio and just watch the sky. Better than watching your phone. Our theme is be true to yourself. Being true to yourself is also being mindful of what you feed yourself on a daily basis, whether it's food, information, whatever, being balanced, the whole bit. So being true to what's good for you physically, emotionally, the whole bit. So yeah, I don't know. Really super important topic, not just for adults, but for parents. And because kids, again, we've talked about this on previous podcasts, they learn by modeling. They don't know what they don't know when they come into the world. It takes effort to keep them entertained and help them to self-regulate, as you said. And it takes effort to talk them down out of something, or reason with them, dialogue with them. It is easier to hand them a phone or an iPad. And sometimes that might be necessary, but we just ask you to pause and think about that for a minute.
Being true to yourself and feeding yourself the good stuff provides the fuel for how you are outwardly to the world.
Yeah.
And we need more. light workers and healers in the world.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you're never going to be pissed or sad or anything. That's not what I'm saying, because that's where the balance comes in. But given the choice, I mean, I'm the kind of person where I'm out and about and I say good morning and hi to people, or, oh no, go ahead. And there's, why are you so happy? People say that to me all the time. Why are you so happy? I'm like, why are you so miserable? Which doesn't help. They're feeding the black wolf. But seriously, I mean, it all comes down to choice. And not to sound like a 1980s ABC after school special. It's not a choice, it's a child. Like saying something like that. But, kids need us, and they crave the direction and the guidance. And they're only going to learn and know what you tell and feed them.
Yeah.
Until they're old enough to figure it out. And we weren't raised in a perfect, healthy, loving environment. And it wasn't until we were well into our 40s where we really started to do the hard work on ourselves. And here we are today.
Yeah.
So there's no clock on that either. But just remember, those little balls of clay that you're bringing into the world and molding, you have a wonderful, beautiful opportunity to just give them a fantastic start of just setting them free. And watching your hard work, you're like, I taught my kid that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what that feeling's like.
Yeah.
Because I don't have kids, but I've seen it happen with parents. I do witness so many wonderful things out there when I'm in public. It's like I'll see one grocery cart with a kid watching an iPad, and then I see another one where the mom hands the kid a plastic bag and she's like, I want you to go pick out 3 really pretty apples, and I want you to show, like, teaching their kid how to buy produce.
Right.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
If you encourage your child to play, really play, and children naturally want to play. And one of the last scenes, I'm going to tie this up here. One of the last scenes in Toy Story 5 is the 2 kids that kind of started it all with their iPads in the neighborhood, and didn't want to play with the one little girl in the neighborhood that still was playing with all of her toys, Jessie and Mr. Potato Head and Rex and all them. They didn't want to play with her because she was playing with real toys. And in the end, they found a little girl with like mind, and they began playing together and became best friends. And the other kids on the street noticed how much fun they were having, and they dropped their devices and just ran. And then they were all playing together with real toys. Kids naturally want to play with each other. They want to imagine, they want to explore, they want to laugh, they want to, and use their imagination. So provide that kind of environment for them, encourage it. And I think, as we end this episode, I think that's homework. If you can, go see Toy Story 5, please, especially if you're a parent. And number 2, just think about some of the things we've said. And if you're an adult with no children, think about limiting your screen time. Next time you find yourself doom scrolling, go, whoa, what am I doing? What else could I be doing now? Is it really like doing something for me other than making me numb and unaware? Catch yourself. And then go do something else. And if you are a parent, man, encourage play, real play with toys and stuff, and think about that balance. So
totally. I know one thing that I don't want anyone to limit, and that's listening to the Whiska Chicks podcast.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Because we are sages, man. We got something to say.
We are light workers and healers.
Either that or you hate us, one or the other. But anyway.
With a dash of delicious dish SNL ladies from time to time.
With a dash of muffin talk.
That was so funny. I know we could go on and on, but we're going to wrap this up. And yeah, a lot to think about today. I certainly have. I'm taking a lot away from what we've talked about, so that's cool. Yep. Anyway, thanks for being with us today, everybody. And we hope you enjoyed listening to our rant and ramble as usual. And we know what old Nana would say.
Be true to yourself.